And a federal judge has ruled the woman alleging she was raped by Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs can remain anonymous. The woman says both men raped her at a party when she was 13 years old. Jay-Z's legal team had fought to get the case dismissed, arguing his accuser should have to reveal her name. But the judge disagreed. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the latest.
In a jaw-dropping Hollywood scandal that has sent shockwaves through the industry, none other than Beyoncé, global superstar and cultural icon, finds herself at the heart of allegations so explosive, they're making fans rethink everything they thought they knew about her. From mysterious recordings to secret power plays, we're peeling back the layers of a world far darker than the spotlight reveals. A world built on manipulation, secrecy, and silent struggles, where one shocking tape could change everything.
There's just been a shocking revelation from federal authorities regarding a highly private and scandalous video involving none other than Jay-Z and Beyoncé, reportedly taken during a wild party hosted by Diddy. Apparently during a Homeland Security raid on Diddy's properties, some rather intriguing discoveries were made, including compromising footage featuring numerous beloved celebrities caught in scandalous situations. Speculation is rife that Diddy intentionally leaked this footage to authorities as a form of revenge against the Carters, allegedly due to their perceived lack of support during his legal battles. It seems he's on a mission to embarrass them at any cost. Adding fuel to the fire, an unsettling audio clip allegedly featuring Meek Mill and Diddy has surfaced, courtesy of Diddy's former bodyguard.
Now, Jaguar Wright is a well-known whistleblower. She has predicted many of the crimes Diddy is charged with today. Now, as of recent, she had an interview with Piers Morgan, and she did say that Jay-Z and Beyoncé were implicated with Diddy. Now, let me know your opinion on the things she's sharing about Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
She's referring to Jay-Z, Sean Carter.
They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping
Paul?
people against their will, putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane, unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
So essentially what she's trying to say is that Jay-Z and Beyoncé are doing or have done similar things that Diddy is being accused of. What do you guys think about this? You think it's true? You think she's full of it? Let me know.
The scandal that shook the industry to its core, the sex tape that started it all. It all erupted when Homeland Security executed a high-profile raid, uncovering a secret archive filled with explosive footage, compromising tapes that allegedly captured A-list celebrities in unspeakable acts. And among those tapes, according to multiple insider leaks, one featured none other than Jay-Z and Beyoncé at one of Diddy's infamous parties. But here's where it gets even wilder. Reports suggest they weren't just guests. They were allegedly active participants in scenes that could shatter their carefully built empire if the footage ever saw the light of day. The most amazing turn of events? According to some claims, Diddy personally leaked the video. For what reason? Retaliation. Diddy apparently felt betrayed, left in the dust by Jay-Z as his legal problems started stacking up. After years of rich deals, clandestine meetings, and power moves, he decided ruthlessly, if he was going down, he wasn't going alone. The world turned its back on him. Online exploded as rumors of the controversy grew. Blogs raced wild with conjecture, headlines screamed of treachery, and social media descended into an all-out conflict between desperate denials and conspiracy theories. The actual firestorm, meanwhile, had still to start. Were Beyoncé and Jay-Z targets of a deliberate setup, or were they intimately entangled in the dark underbelly of the industry? That's when vocal music industry insider Jaguar Wright, known for revealing Hollywood's darkest secrets, stepped out with shocking assertions. She didn't just confirm their presence at these parties, she alleged that Jay-Z and Beyoncé were far from innocent bystanders.
Oftentimes, when someone is accused of a crime like this, the accuser doesn't want to be named, and if they are forced to be named, we have seen certain people decide to drop the lawsuit altogether.
Morgan Norwood, thank you. And Tony Busby, the lawyer representing Jay-Z and Diddy's accusers, says in a statement to ABC News, quote, "I will say that the coordinated and desperate efforts to attack me as counsel for alleged victims are falling flat. We won't be bullied or intimidated." And we did reach out to Jay-Z and his team, but did not get a response.
A judicial triumph for the woman who is suing Jay-Z, for allegedly raping her when she was 13. A federal judge determined the woman can proceed with the complaint while staying nameless, at least for now. But the court also chastising the lawyers defending Jay-Z, accusing them of trying to fast-pace the judicial process by continually filing applications to divulge the identity of the Jane Doe to have the case dismissed. The court writing in a 5-page brief that the Carters' lawyers' relentless filing of contentious papers, including inflammatory language and ad hominem attacks, is inappropriate, a waste of judicial resources, and a tactic unlikely to serve his client. The court will not fast rush the judicial procedure solely because the counsel demands it. This fresh legal twist, coming after the recently filed civil action by Jane Doe, claims that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter and P. Diddy, drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl at an after-party after the MTV Music Awards in February, while an unnamed celebrity watched. Jay-Z has angrily disputed all the charges, putting up the statement 2 weeks ago, stating in part, "This is a blackmail effort." The multi-platinum musician, who was 30 at the time, now a business magnate with decades of hits to his name, with songs like Run This Town.
We are, yeah, I said it, we are. This is Rock Nation, pledge your allegiance.
His attorneys have denied everything about Jane Doe's account and pointed to some alleged inconsistencies in her story.
It's not just that this story is a lie and that it's not true. It's provably, demonstrably false. This never happened.
The court writing that while Jane Doe can stay anonymous for now, she may be obliged to reveal her identity at a later date to allow Jay-Z's lawyers to collect data essential to prepare for trial.
So this just in, Diddy allegedly has evidence of Jay-Z unaliving his mistress, Kathy White. And the reason Diddy isn't in jail yet is because he's cooperating with authorities to take Jay down with him. Kathy White was Jay-Z's side piece. Kathy was an up-and-coming industry publicist, fitness, and beauty expert when she mysteriously died at 28. Jay-Z was seeing her on the down low and got her pregnant. So according to a journalist, Kathy was going to tell the tabloids everything for the right price, but Jay found out and got her murked. Diddy is allegedly set to release the details of how Jay-Z unalived his mistress. Jaguar Wright hints that both the Carters might be responsible, but one of them is more responsible than the other, and she wonders if it's possible Beyoncé's temper is a little worse than most people think, and Jay had to clean it all up for her.
A federal judge has ruled the woman alleging she was raped by Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs can remain anonymous. The woman says both men raped her at a party when she was 13 years old. Jay-Z's legal team had fought to get the case dismissed, arguing his accuser should have to reveal her name, but the judge disagreed. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the latest.
And the allegations don't end there. According to reports, at least 3 women have consented to testify against the Carters on charges of setups, coercion, and manipulation. One even asserted that the strategies employed were similar to those employed in the Aaliyah controversy. Victims relocated against their will and used drugs. These are serious charges. Yet the Carters have said nothing in response to increasing criticism. These days, the internet is divided. There are supporters who fervently defend their heroes. Others think their true colors are finally coming to light. In any case, the riddle is simply made more complex by the quiet. Diddy's transformation from tycoon to monster. Diddy's empire started to fall apart in real time as Beyoncé and Jay-Z came under more and more scrutiny. What used to be one of the most exciting is now linked to legal upheaval. Diddy is facing numerous federal allegations, including sex trafficking, racketeering, and orchestrating a decades-long abuse network. He is portrayed in numerous lawsuits as the mastermind operator behind a system of deception that targets young, vulnerable people, rather than merely as a participant.
What's going on? Losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything, just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there.
Companies and sponsors are abandoning him at a rapid pace. There are no longer any endorsements. As their previous associations haunt them, former colleagues are disappearing and refusing to comment. Diddy's decline from business tycoon to suspected predator has been quick and drastic, but he isn't going down in silence. He may have released the Carter tape, among other damning footage, as a deliberate act of retaliation, according to many. And some of the most influential people in the industry might be joining him in that devastation. Jay-Z's legal issues get worse. Jay-Z is one of the people now embroiled in the legal dispute. According to a complaint filed by a lady going by the name Jane Doe, she was raped by Diddy and Jay-Z at an after-party in Tiaozan after the Video Music Awards. At the time, she was only 13 years old. The lawsuit details instances of severe coercion and trauma that lasts a lifetime. In an aggressive response, Jay-Z's legal team has worked to defame the victim and reveal who she is. The judge quickly rejected the move, describing it as an obvious act of intimidation.
So hold on. Why is there chatter about Jay-Z being in the same club as Diddy? Allegedly, it's because of his interest in young girls. So rumor has it that Jay-Z exploits young women in the industry, young enough to be his own daughter. Now, if you've been following Jay-Z closely, you'll know that he's far from the wholesome family man he portrays himself to be. So Jay-Z has been under scrutiny for quite some time. Do you guys remember when he was romantically involved with Foxy Brown? Yeah, she was just 15 years old and he was 27. That raised more than a few eyebrows. But wait, there's more. Jay-Z maintains close friendships with Diddy, Russell Simmons, and R. Kelly, each of whom has faced allegations related to their relationships with underage girls. Now, with fresh evidence coming to light, it won't be long before Jay-Z has to address these shady connections to Diddy.
The people that are attached to Diddy and that are pulling the strings, one of them is Beyoncé.
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about
And one
that.
of them is Jay-Z. Very interesting. Anytime you watch the Grammys, every single woman artist, they always thank Beyoncé.
Yeah.
From Lady Gaga to Miley Cyrus,
Adele,
Britney Spears.
Yeah.
They all thank Beyoncé. But why? So theory goes way back when Aaliyah, one of the biggest hip-hop artists, she was on the rise at the same time as Beyoncé. But who was in power at the time? Obviously Jay-Z and Beyoncé. And as we know, Diddy, right?
Yeah.
Theory goes that they decided to take out Aaliyah because she was such a competition to Beyoncé to be #1.
Damn.
And she really was. She was about to outshine her. Now check this out. There's another artist
Is
that
it the
died.
one with the swoop?
Yeah, Left Eye. This is what's crazy, right? Aaliyah, Left Eye, and Michael Jackson. All three of them, they died on the 25th day of the month. Aaliyah died on August 25th.
Okay.
Left Eye.
Left Eye critics and legal experts have condemned the technique as tone-deaf and risky. While Jay-Z continues to refute all claims, his reputation is sinking. What previously felt like an unassailable brand now feels weak. His attempts to maintain power and control through legal maneuvers are being seen by many as desperation. Now the billion-dollar issue looms enormous. Can Jay-Z weather this storm? Or is this the final act of a man whose kingdom was based on concealed secrets? Beyoncé's hushed leaving, purposeful or scared? As Jay-Z's legal troubles increase, Beyoncé's behavior is raising concerns. According to insiders, she began quietly segregating assets and prepared for a future divorce as early as June 2023, months before the public learned about the tape. Coincidence? Some think not. Her recent business initiatives, creating a haircare company, going on tour, and building up brand relationships should all signal financial planning. One insider even stated that Beyoncé began stashing cash and oil drums at her grandfather's house just in case. But what's arguably more telling is her silence. Beyoncé, known for her control over her image, hasn't voiced a single word in support of her husband or herself. Some feel she's avoiding legal entanglement. Others say she may have something to hide. Her formerly clean image as a role model is now under criticism. Is she insulating herself from scandal, or does she know this empire is destined to fall? Industry secrets, witchcraft charges, and power plays. The allegations swirling around Beyoncé don't end with mystery parties and leaking tapes. In fact, some of the most chilling charges come from the people who previously stood closest to her. In 2018, Beyoncé's former drummer, Kimberly Thompson, startled the public when she filed for a restraining order, saying Beyoncé was involved in extreme witchcraft, occult dark magic, and spiritual spying. According to Thompson, Beyoncé didn't simply damage her career. She employed supernatural powers to harass her, tap her phones, and manage her life from afar. The charges were rejected at the time as weird tabloid fodder, but in light of current developments, many are now taking a second look.
That's the sound police.
The smartest thing Jay said in the statement was, if you really believe this happened, then press criminal charges.
Jay-Z released a statement. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one.
He said pull up.
But I don't think that was...
Tell me.
Okay, look. Because of the statute of limitation,
there is no criminal. So it's a
so making a statement is to make people feel like.
But apparently, if she's under 18, didn't you say it still could be criminal?
Yeah. I get confused too. You look at this, it's a lot of confusing information, right? But I think when you do point out that, why didn't you file criminal case? Because you can't. It's over 20 years old. This was 2000, bro.
No, but I think if it's a minor,
when they're saying this is happening, I'm not even 50 Cent yet.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like this is that dates that far back.
Yeah.
So it's like it didn't even take place at that point. So.
Thompson said that she was the victim of severe spiritual attacks after leaving Beyoncé's band, alleging that Beyoncé engaged in sinister rituals, cast spells, and even sacrificed her kitten. These allegations were dismissed at the time as the digressions of a resentful former worker. Today, however, her remarks seem less like fiction and more like a possible warning that was never taken seriously given the pervasive accusations of control, manipulation, and silence within the industry. However, Kimberly is not by herself. Ashley Everett, Beyoncé's former dance captain who accompanied her on Globe tours and in performances for years, was allegedly seen liking a number of dubious social media items, several of which accused Beyoncé outright of power struggles, manipulation, and secrecy. Ashley never spoke in public, but the activities sparked a lot of conjecture. What others were too scared to speak out loud, was she quietly co-signing?
Kirsten Neal believes Diddy assaulted her in 1991, also in New York, echoing what prosecutors later write in a federal indictment against Diddy. Dickerson Neal alleges Diddy recorded this sexual assault. Her lawsuit also contends that she's the victim of revenge porn, as Diddy exposed this reporting to several people without her authorization. All three of these civil claims were filed in November under the New York Survivors Act, and so too was a bombshell legal complaint filed by Cassandra Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who's also known as the singer Cassie. It was with Cassie's lawsuit that we first heard in-depth claims concerning Diddy's alleged unlawful conduct. To start, there's the gun claim that allegedly, on at least 2 instances, Diddy insisted Cassie hold his gun in her purse. The lawsuit goes on to argue, quote, there was no evident reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold his guns, except to reaffirm to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and scary. Beyond the gun charges, allegations, Cassie put up some other big accusations in her 35-page lawsuit. She alleges Diddy beat her, sometimes so badly that she had to hide out in hotels for days at a time, waiting for the bruises when Cassie began flirting with musician Kid Cudi in 2011. Cassie says that in 2012, Diddy told her that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his buddies when it happened. Around that moment, Kid Cudi's automobile exploded in his driveway.
The allegations brought forth in Cassie's lawsuit were shocking, and so too were the accusations brought months later in yet another civil suit filed by Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod. He began working with Diddy in 2022 on the Love album, and soon, he alleges, the abuse began. Lil Rod accuses Diddy of sexual assault, writing he was, quote, the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. He also alleges Diddy and his team were grooming Lil Rod to engage in gay sex. Lil Rod further alleges that Diddy forced him to have sex with prostitutes and even drugged Lil Rod to get him to comply. On top of these sexual assault allegations, Lil Rod's lawsuit also alleges that Diddy ran a gun and drug trafficking